Funeral Blues by W H Auden. His full name is Winston Hugh Auden. He belonged to the 20th century and this poem was published in 1938. It comes under the collection of 12 songs. He is an Anglo-American who was born in England and later became a US citizen. This poem has 4 quatrains, that is a poem of 16 lines, and it has a rhyme scheme of AABB. Stanza 1. Stop all the clocks, cut off the telephone. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos and with muffled drum. Bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. So he is announcing the death of a beloved, and it is as if he wants to isolate himself from every sound, from every living entity on this world, because everything has turned futile for him and he has no hope and no consolation from any source he expects, and therefore he wants everything to be cut off. The clocks ticking, the telephones ringing, everything he wants to cut himself off from. And he wants to even replace the music of pianos with muffled drums, which is again symbolic of the Victorian era, in which it was a practice of announcing the death of a person. And he invites all mourners to come and share his grief with him and be with him in this moment of bereavement. Stanza 2. Let aeroplanes circle moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. Put crepe bows round the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policemen wear black cotton gloves. So he wants the airplane or the airplane US term as they say, to circle in the sky such as to announce the death and make it known to the whole world, as to make his personal loss as a universal sense of loss, and he wants to announce it to everybody, to proclaim out into the world, out to the whole earth itself, that he is dead, which shows that it is also a he, a male figure whose loss he is mourning. And it is also a controversial thing that the beloved or the death of his loved one is a he here, which was not quite seen with respect and dignity in the Victorian era, because usually we associate an elegy to be on the loss of a beloved and we expect it to be a female entity. And because it was a Victorian era, 20th century, and it gives some sense of a hint of a male figure here and whose loss is being mourned, and therefore it was also a controversy during that time. The scribbling on the sky, the message. So we have seen in various occasions like Republic Day and all, the airplanes and the pilots showing some stunts in the air and giving off that fume in different shapes and colors to symbolize something. So he wants that to announce and to write it itself, to scribble it in the sky, or his loved one is dead. So put crepe bows round the white necks of the public doves. Again, white symbolizes peace and death and loss, and these black cotton gloves, again a symbolic, a practice of the then times to which he belonged, that wearing these black gloves was something that was associated to mourners. The next stanza, he was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever, I was wrong. So here the poet uses all the cardinal directions that he can name. Those are all the 4 main directions. He's again talking that he was his everything. Means any direction, anything, his everything that you can look around him was his world revolved around that person. My working week, my Sunday rest, everything concerned with that person. And so whether he was working, whether he was resting, whether it was his leisure, everything was concerned with that particular person. My noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. So, be it a bright, sunny day, a hopeful one, that is noon. Midnight means his sorrows, his dark days, his dark moments, and his talk, his song. So, everything, his conversation, his happy moments, everything revolved around this person, which symbolizes that his everyday life, his whole life, has been topsy turvied, has been interrupted by this death. His loss has just left him bereft. How much a sense of completeness was attached to this being, that has been emphasized again and again by the various examples that he gives. That he was not just a romantic partner but a fundamental, integral part of his life. He was his companion from every aspect. Further reinforces the idea that they together made one single entity, were one single unit. They had seen all sorts of times and days together. When he ends it with the lines that I thought that love would last forever, I was wrong. So this pause that he gives, the semicolon that he gives, the colon that he gives, everything just emphasizes on his disappointment that even love is not immortal, cannot remain untouched and unaffected by the cold, icy hands of time and death. So, his heartbreak, his shattered soul, and the depth and intensity of love has clearly been exhibited through these lines. The next stanza: the stars are not wanted now. Put out everyone. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood, for nothing now can ever come to any good. So, hopelessness, disappointment, and the sense of his broken soul has come out most evidently here, that he says he uses all the planetary symbols of the sun, moon, ocean, and the nature symbols, symbols like the ocean, wood, the forest, that means wood means. So he uses all these things, that nothing in nature, nothing on earth, nothing ever can remove his sense of loss, his hopelessness, despair now can not be replaced, and his life has changed completely, has transformed completely for worse, and shall never be overcome by anything on earth. Neither beauty, nor light, nor stars, nothing. And so he wants every sense and every element of beauty and warmth from the earth to be removed, to be eliminated. So the apparently endless multitudinal water bodies and the elements of nature, which are said to be lasting forever and ever after, and the so-called eternal sources of nature, and the vast expanses of the forests, even nothing can replace or give him any sort of consolation. For nothing can turn back time and bring back his loved one. So faith is lost. Life shall never be the same again. This has been emphasized again and again. Hopelessness and complete despair pervades the whole poem, suggesting the aftermath of his loss. Nothing positive can ever be achieved. He is feeling so low, and once the things that brought joy to him, each and everything now is completely meaningless for him, and therefore he wants them rather to be wiped off from the face of the earth. So he is under the grasp of such overwhelming that the departed meant everything to him, and such amount of intense sorrow has been highlighted through all these imageries that he has used: the celestial bodies, the external environment, everything just mirrors his internal turmoil. That's why he wants them removed, because he is himself left hollow from within. So he's left completely